Alright, K986 back again. This time we're going to do a quick little review on Splatterhouse. Recent acquisition recommended to me by a buddy, and everything he said about it was definitely true. There is a story mode with a large selection of chapters to it. As you can see right there, there's 12 different chapters. The last one is pretty much just a boss fight, but really I'm just going to go into the survival arena just to show off the game and play a little bit. There's DLC masks, and also when you beat the game you can unlock a exclusive one. I imagine the PS3 has its own one as opposed to the 360 version. The game itself has a pretty much entirely metal soundtrack, which personally I enjoy, and it gives that rough and tumble, let's do this kind of background audio to the game itself. The monsters aren't exactly the biggest in variety, but when it comes down to it, when you're hitting things with a pipe you just picked up off the ground, variety isn't the most important thing. And the controls themselves are your basic mix of quick attack, strong attack style. As you can see, there's damage to the character model as you get hit, so you can mostly tell just how good you're doing just by the fact that your ribs are showing or something cut your arm off. There is a health bar up at the top of the screen, which is actually the purplish color that you see. The red would be more necro gauge, I think they call it. Essentially, the more things you beat up and the more blood everything gives you, then the more full that bar is going to be. I'm going to just drop this here for a minute to try to showcase another feature of the game. The kills. As you can see, grab an enemy that's got the red blink to them, lets you do a fancy splatter kill, as they call it in the game. And this will range anywhere from simply killing the guy outright or ripping off his arms, which you can then use to beat all of his friends. Such as that. And now I have an arm that I can walk around and beat people with, because it's fun to beat people with arms. And you'll see right there one of the different types of enemies. He shields the other guys, so you want to charge into him and beat him down so that he can't protect everybody else. And you can throw guys around and use them as weapons against their friends. There are collectibles in this in the form of pictures, like you'll see right there. And this is throughout the campaign itself. Some of these pictures aren't exactly something you'd want to show on YouTube though, so I probably won't get that far into it. These little mini boss type bad guys, at first it's a nice little break up from the process, but after a while they start getting kind of old, in my opinion. Thankfully they added this thing called Berserk mode. And the nice thing about Berserk mode is it makes short work of pretty much everything in the game. So you massacre whatever's bothering you, you turn it off, and then you just gotta beat up some normal stuff to get your blood filled back up. So, overall, the game is fun. I wouldn't recommend it for everybody because it is, as you can see, rather violent. The language usage isn't necessarily appropriate for a lot of people, but the game is M-rated, so you should expect it to act like it's M-rated, unlike some games that are out there. And you'll see in this case that my arm is off. So my guy is missing an arm, which in turn means that my attacks are slower and I can't do some of the stuff that I used to be able to do. I cannot say that I've actually played the original Splatterhouses, although they have unlocked by beating the story campaign, which is a nice little feature of the game. It's giving you the opportunity to play the older games just by beating the story. Somewhere there's still another guy, I think. There he is. And all the survival mode is just exactly what you expect. Wave after wave after wave of bad guys. Until you either lose or you beat all the waves of bad guys. I believe it's about 20 waves of guys that you gotta go through. There's a variety of weapons in the sense of there's a slice and dice kind of guy like this, which is essentially an oversized meat cleaver. You got your enemies' heads you can pick up and throw at people. The 2x4, a lead pipe. And at one point it actually gives you a shotgun. Pretty exceptionally sassy feeling. Each weapon has a durability associated with it, so you can't just use it forever and ever, because eventually it breaks. The story mode itself is actually pretty amusing, with a pretty large set of locales for a game that's not too horribly long but not too short. Lasted about 2 days, I believe, worth of gameplay on my end. And that's pretty much how the game goes. I probably can't hear the music in the background right now because I have my audio turned down a bit, but there's plenty of fun bands on there such as Lamb of God and other fun, heavy styles of music that fits a game where you basically just rip the crap out of everything. And you'll see right there, if you mess up, then the guy shoves you away and gets back a little bit of his health. Each of the kill animations, there's about, I think, 1 or 2 per enemy. And that right there is Splatterhouse.